sing Surely the Presence. Those of you at home, the lyrics are on the screen. You can join us. Thank you, everyone. We'll start out with a song.
God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me and guides my way through every moment of the day. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever we go, God is. Let everybody know God is. All is well. Whenever we give, God is. Whenever we love, God is. There's always gonna be enough. God is, and all is well. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am can do and be through Christ the truth that lives in me. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever we go, God is. Let everybody know God is. All is well. Whenever we give, God is. Whenever we love, God is. There's always gonna be enough. God is, and all is well. God is my health, I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing quick. God is my all, I know no fear. Since God and love and truth are here. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever we go, God is. Let everybody know God is, and all is well. Whenever we give, God is. Whenever we love, God is. There's always gonna be enough. God is, and all is well. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever we go, God is. Let everybody know God is, and all is well. Whenever we give, God is. Whenever we love, God is. There's always gonna be enough. God is, and all is well. And all is well.
Thank you, Barbara. That was fun. So good morning and welcome to everyone. My peeps here and all of our friends and family at home. I know some of my family's watching as well. Happy Memorial Day. So, and if you haven't already, please silence your cell phone. You don't have to worry about the landline. That's okay. Let us begin with the daily word, as we most often do. And today, the daily word on Sunday, May 26th, is comfort. I am comforted by the embrace of divine love. When someone dear to me transitions, I may feel fearful and alone. I do not hide from my feelings or seek to numb them, even if I feel tempted. Grief has come to pass, but it cannot pass until I acknowledge it and feel it. Opening to all my heart is holding, I feel a presence far stronger than pain. Even in deepest grief, divine love is strong within me, lifting me, making my feelings bearable. As I feel comforted by this love, I become increasingly aware of the peace and the strength in my heart. Even in my grief, I'm grateful to trust the healing comfort of divine love. It blesses me today and will be an ongoing presence as I need it. My love for those I lost is eternal and unchanging, just like God's love for me. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. And that's from Matthew chapter 5, verse 4. And the thought of the day, the daily word, is comfort. I am comforted by the embrace of divine love. We can move now to our mission statement, which we say and we try to live. Right, everybody? Please join us at home. We are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awaken oneness with God within us all. We dedicate this year to activating the abundance and prosperity in our lives with gratitude, love, action, and connecting to the divine within us. So, in bringing our mission to life, we're going to invite you to join us in fellowship and conversation and food after the service. And for those of you at home, you can do the same at home. Gather with the people in your home. Have some food, have some conversation, feel some fellowship. So we're broadcasting live on YouTube, which you probably know because you're on YouTube. And if you won't hear me if you haven't found it, but go to our webpage, which is www.unityoftheseacoast.org, and scroll down to the links for our live services, but also our past services. So if you can scroll through and read them, and if there's a subject matter that goes, ooh, that kind of hits home, watch that one. There's also a blue button. Oh, we're on Facebook too, by the way. And there's a blue button on that front page, and that allows you to support our outreach. And the button is called Donate. If you prefer to mail your donation, or like my 92-year-old mother-in-law, walk it here in person. She watches online, and then she walks her check over here. You can mail it to Unity of the Seacoast, McConnell Center, Suite 246, 61 Locust Street, Dover, New Hampshire, 03820. And right now it's a little quiet on our meetup page and website, but keep checking in and you'll see some event details on there. Last Friday was Family Night Game, and I hear it was a lot of fun from the people that were here. Nice. And I guess the word of the night was balderdash. Am I right? Okay. So some of the upcoming events are, we are going to have a yard sale. I don't have any more information on that, but we'll keep you posted. And then, of course, the first Monday meditation on June 3rd, 7 o'clock on Facebook Live only. We have a Reiki circle here by donation only, and it's not an obligation, it's a suggestion. That will be June 5th, which is a Wednesday, from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. We also have Poets in Unity with Shane Morin, who's a brilliant and entertaining and wonderful and educating guy. And that will be June 15th from 2 to 4, which is a Saturday. And then we're going to have another acoustic music circle, which I think is great. It's going to be on June 16th, which is Father's Day. So from noon to 3, we will be honoring the dads that love music and come here. Please come, even if you never have. It's not just for Unity. It's for anybody. If you play an instrument, if you like to sing, if you like to listen, just join us. And then, of course, on June 28th, we have game night, and that's at 6:30 in the evening. And all of those events are right here in this room. Next week, Tom's talk will be on Jacob. Interesting. And so now we'll move to Namaste, which is a Sanskrit greeting, meaning the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, or the best in me sees the bestest in you. And so we put our hands in prayer position, and we look each other deeply in the eyes, and we look for that Christ in that other person, and we honor it. So let's do that. This is just a wonderful beginning of our day here in Unity. Something happens. There's a heart opening. Your energy rises. It's a nice way to greet. And I have one little story of years ago. One of our members, Rachel, and her husband, and my husband, Charlie, and I were on the Spalding Turnpike. And we're driving along, and all of a sudden this car comes up along. And I see Rachel and Michael. We all namaste each other at 55. Of course, it was 55 miles an hour. It was fun. I think it's time for another song.
Yes.
What do you think? If I get my papers right, I might get the right one.
Letting go, holding on.
Holding on.
God is my shepherd, I shall not want. Letting go,
Letting go.
holding on.
Holding on.
Seeking first the kingdom of God. Let go of the feelings that feed on lack and greed. Let go of the reasons keeping me in need. Let go of the fear there's never enough. Stop holding on to what is not love. I'm letting go,
Letting go.
holding on.
Holding on.
God is my shepherd, I shall not want. I'm letting go,
Letting go.
holding on.
Holding on.
Seeking first the kingdom of God. We breathe in, we breathe out, it's all give and take. The one with each other for all goodness sake. The loaves and the fishes were blessed and released. And barely enough turned into a feast. I'm
holding on.
God is my shepherd, I shall not want. I'm letting go,
letting go,
holding on,
holding on.
seeking first the kingdom of God. Seeking first the kingdom of God. Seeking first the kingdom of God.
Thanks, Barbara. You guys got some interaction going here. I like it. Unity used to be known for its music. Everybody get up, clap, and sing, and I like to bring that back. Okay. What shall I say about our speaker today? I'd like to welcome Tom Scheinler, who's pretty in pink.
Oh, Lynn, I love that. So here at Unity, I hope you guys know that I talk a lot about infinite possibilities, and I believe in creating infinite. We do it every week. If you look, oh, she cut out. Can you raise the screen a little? No, no, not my butt. Right there. See, we create the infinite every week. I did wear my red, white, and blue. Well, pink, white, and blue, because I want a softer America. I made that up on the way here. She said don't use it, so I did. So today's talk is called Seeing Abundance. And I begin with, what was that? Apparently I have a critic. So, yeah. I begin with Matthew 14:19 through 21. And then he commanded the multitudes to sit down on the grass. And he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to the heavens, he blessed and broke and gave the loaves to his disciples. And the disciples gave the loaves and the baskets to the multitudes. So they all ate and were filled, and they took up the 12 baskets full of fragments that remained. Now those who had eaten were about 5,000, men, women, and children. And looking up to the multitudes, he blessed. This is a simple act that metaphysically and practically interpreted means Jesus is looking away from the lack that he sees. He's looking towards full abundance. And this is an act that we do all the time when we see something that stifles us, that needs our thought. We just kind of turn away for a moment because we're looking away from lack. We're looking for full answers, for full abundance. Now, each morning, I sit in my chair hooked up to my dialysis machine. But as I look past it, I can look out the door window. And the morning that I was writing this, the sky was still a little gray. It was just about 5:30, knowing it will brighten up soon as the sun rays creep through to give its part to life cycle. The branches still look black. The light of the green shows clearly, probably a little clearer than that picture. The leaves are still young, not fully developed, waiting for the nourishment to climb the tree, to feed those leaves. We can get rid of that now. Insects may spend their whole lives in that tree eating those leaves. Birds may see them, may feast on the insects. Old leaves and twigs and stalks will provide a home for the birds that make nests with them as their mothers raise their kids, bringing back food to raise those birds. Squirrels will run up and down these trees all day long for whatever reason. I have no idea. Occasionally, I can look past it and I can look out to my motorcycle and I'll see a squirrel sitting on my motorcycle eating nuts, eating acorns. There's also a bucket that I put next to the bike so I can sit there and polish it. And occasionally that squirrel will sit on the bucket. Probably doing what I do, admiring the bike. You gotta love a squirrel who loves a motorcycle. When I can open the when I open the door from my room, I can see the plants that I transplanted a few weeks ago. They look a little rough as they shed their winter leaves and the sun starts bringing out their new leaves. Nature's rain and suns can do more for it than I can with a bucket and a grow light. In a couple minutes, Casey pops her head into the room, wish me a good morning. Soon after that, she makes it a good morning by bringing me in a cup of coffee. Then she'll ask if I want breakfast. Soon after that, I hear the neighbors start to go off to work to make their income that allows them to live there. Others are retired and they're coming back to their lake house for the season. I'll hear people walking their dogs by our house. They get their exercise, the dogs get to run and relax. Then they'll go home, they'll probably eat their breakfast, feed the dogs, give them a pat. Behind our house is a German Shepherd named Ranger, and he will bark at every single person or thing that goes by. Perhaps he's saying, hey, 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 welcome to my neighborhood. Or he's letting people know in the house that there's a whole world happening around there that they don't know about. Or maybe he's establishing his dominance, saying, I could eat you anytime I want to. And I'm not worried about him because I've met him many times, and he's very gentle. And he looks up almost as if to convey, I was just joking about the eat you thing. Got a bone, got a treat. And if I listen closely, I can hear cars going up and down Route 4. Motorcycles will cruise by, and I'll think about riding mine. Perhaps later I would fertilize the lawn. I use a natural fertilizer and a soil conditioner so it doesn't leach into the lake, because that lake feeds the community and all that's downstream. And I know if I peek below the surface of that lake, I can see a whole ecosystem going on and life going from there. The lake has a gentle pace to it this time of year. Occasional boat goes by, or fisherman, or a kayak. And I know that will soon end as more high-speed boats come in and summer begins and it becomes a very active recreational lake. And around our town, our state, our country, people will continue working. They'll plant soil, planting seeds that will become our food. They'll tend to the animals that will be consumed. Others will be loading and unloading trucks. Others will be plying their trade, doing whatever they can so they can earn enough money to eke out their particular life. And each one adding something into the system so that we can live our particular life. And we all do this knowing that all is provided for, that we have abundance all around us. And we have so much, and we always have. I think about when I was a kid, we were pretty darn poor, but we had a house. I had a bike. It was given to me by a friend, but I had one. We had meals on the table. We had a black and white Admiral TV in the corner. We saw the shows when they came on, and we waited for them each week. Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, Room 222. Saturday morning cartoons. Playing with our friends. Each Memorial Day, we would go to a park in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. We called it Across the River for an afternoon barbecue. And that was enough. We were abundant enough. And as we grew, we began to buy records from Aerosmith to Carole King to Led Zeppelin to James Taylor. More playing with our friends, running inside to watch the Red Sox on our color TV. It was given to us. It was old and beat. The colors weren't as expected, kind of faded, the edges. The Red Sox wore orange socks. And occasionally we'd have to get up and turn a little dial on the back to keep the TV from scrolling. But it was enough. And then the stereo came. Record player was nice, but a stereo was better. And we had it in the family room. This was the salad days for our family. We rented a house that had a family room. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, lots of land. I got my first motorcycle. My brother bought it when he joined the service and gave it to me. My brother also sent me a TV, so I had a TV up in my room and more records. Elton John's Greatest Hits was the best record because it was bought in Germany. It sounded exactly the same. It was nothing different, but I knew that it came from Germany. Occasionally, my friends would come over late at night, climb up on the roof and into the window, and we'd watch old movies on TV 38 or 56 until they were done broadcasting and they would play the national anthem for the night. That old Admiral TV was moved over to my sister's room, and that was enough. And then my mom and dad split. Dad sold the family car. He could walk to work. Mom bought an old car, had no floors in the back. It was a 64 Buick Special that she named Charlie after the perfume. But I learned how to fix cars on that Buick Special. But soon the salad days were over. We eventually moved into tents at a local campground. The TVs were gone, the stereos were gone, my bicycle was gone. The only thing I had left was my motorcycle, and we stored it at my sister's boyfriend's house. But somehow it was okay. We had a place to shower, we grilled food every day, campfire coffee was great, canned drinks straight out of an ice cold cooler were so refreshing. We were in walking distance from many of the campground lakes. We had fresh salad every day, and people came by to hang out all the time. It was very meager, but it was enough. And after a series of bizarre living arrangements, my father got a 2-bedroom apartment. So my sisters had a place to sleep. I could sleep there as well, but I had to sleep on the couch. My mother got a 1-room apartment. It was the same deal. I could sleep on the couch. If I wanted to sleep in a bed, I had to wait until my sisters woke up and were out of the house. So that meant a bed for me was an hour or 2 a day, but somehow it was enough. I worked at my father's gas station. I paid rent to both parents. I walked and hitchhiked everywhere I went. I didn't know it, but God was providing for me. I eventually traded that motorcycle to my sister's boyfriend in $200 and bought my first car from him. That car became my room. I put in a nice stereo. Gas would have been hard to afford, paying 2 rents. But every Wednesday, when they would fill the tanks up at the gas station, they normally would drain the hoses into the tanks in the ground. But the guy would drain it into buckets, and we would siphon it into my car. So I had gas for the week every week. I was on Cape Cod, and it was a guy out of Henniker. So every time I see those J.P. Noonan trucks, I always think of the kindness of that guy. But that car became my room. The gas station was out of the school district, but I stayed at the gas station a lot. Had a TV there. There was a boat that I could sleep in. Wasn't much of a boat, but it was something. And I would, go to my parents' house or whatever. And that was kind of my home base. And several mornings, English teachers from my school would drive by, offer a ride to work, and sometimes I would take it because that saved gas, and they'd bring me home. And they never reported that I was out of the school district because I didn't skip school. I wasn't a great student, but I wasn't a troublemaker. I didn't miss school, and we'd always have great conversations. I'd get there early with them, so I would get a breakfast at school, education, lunch, education, and go back to the gas station. I worked there 7 days a week. So as soon as I got out of school, I went back there, worked till it closed, and then another 16 to 20 hours on the weekends. I ate so much food from a local store that it was getting expensive with subs every day. I have this passion for meatball subs, and it's probably where I got it from. Yeah. But a lot of kids started hanging out there my age. And soon they were bringing me meals, and mothers would make an extra meal so I would have something healthy to eat each day. It was that very neighborhood type of gas station. And it was enough. You know, I'd go in there, I'd watch, put the TV on, they had rabbit ears and coat hangers, and I'd watch the news and then the Muppets and then whatever happened to be on. Eventually my record collection, I knew it was all gone, but eventually I had a collection of cassettes that I kept in the car. So I always had music. Wasn't a traditional upbringing for a kid, but I have such fondness for those memories because of the way people stepped up and made it happen. And it was enough. And then that changed. My father lost his job. His apartment soon went. He moved up to live with my sister and her new husband. I floated from around home to home, finished my senior year working odd jobs till I graduated. My father took my car and moved to Florida. My mother moved to Illinois and then to Hawaii. My older sister's husband joined the service, and they moved away. My younger sister had gone with my mother, and my middle sister had moved about 20 miles away. And I was back at the campground to live and sort it all out. And during that time, I developed a saying, and I didn't know that metaphysically I was creating my life, but I developed this saying, money comes. And I remember those times when abundance flowed in unexpected ways. The teachers, the neighbors, the friends. I learned skills on how to fix things like cars and homes and wiring and plumbing. And I learned to trust my skills enough to craft out a life. And I learned to trust the people who took time to teach me these skills. And years later, when Casey and I bought our first home, I kept all these skills, these life lessons, close to my heart because they became abundance for our family. We always had a car that was new, so Casey and the kids could always get somewhere without worry. Yet at the same time, I always had that car that I liked to tinker with and repair. I had a van that I called a cool van because it was the most uncool van you'd ever seen. It was this 72 Ford van, windows everywhere, sat too high for what it's supposed to, and then it had a camper top on the back. And it's the type of car that I drive down the road, I have the music cranking, and people would... So there was always a car that I could do. And we made sure that our kids never had to worry. The house had 3 bedrooms. We had land so our kids could play. Each of the rooms had stuff that they wanted. Not enough that they were spoiled, but enough so that they knew they were loved. And most of all, I had a bed, my own bed. We had a nice deck that we could entertain our friends in the Florida sun. We had relatives and cousins for the kids dropping by. We had a life filled with people I did not know growing up. Yet, still to this day, they're as close to me as family. All was provided for to get us to that point. And it's those lessons that my kids reflect on when building their life. There are steps you take, and you know that all is provided for. Now I flash forward to today. We've lived in houses, raised our kids, seen the birth of the internet and the computer. I no longer have cassette tapes. I still have a small collection of albums because I get nostalgic. But all my songs are on my phone. I use my computer a lot, as does Casey, as do we here. We have internet in all 4 rooms and TVs in all 4 rooms of the house. We have all the stuff we need and a lot of stuff we just want. Abundance flows to us and still does. Some days, even with all that, it's hard to see abundance. In other days, it is so clear. Did we teach our kids the right lessons? I think so. Each one chose a life that makes them happy. My son and his wife have a house in the middle of nowhere, Maine. They've traveled and seen things that I won't. They took the TV out of their living room so they could put in a stereo and just listen to music at night. He learns to fix things up in his house. He works at a job he likes, and he has happily moved poetry as a side thing for now because he enjoys making and crafting a life that makes him happy. My daughter lives on the Cape, and she's carved out a happy life with her boyfriend and their 3 dogs. Music is always on in her house, and so is her oven. Everything about her life is crafted by her, from the food she cooks to the pictures she takes to the art that she creates. Moments that aren't working, she spends walking in the dune with the dogs or doing yoga. Her partnership with her boyfriend is non-threatening. Neither one wants to change the other. They just want to share their lives. So I sat there looking out my window, looking at abundance, and knowing that whatever I look at, there is abundance happening in it. If it's just that tree, if it's just in your yard, if it's just in your life, if it's just in your neighborhood, abundance has always been happening for me. The dots have always been connecting, even if I didn't see it at the time. When you think that life isn't happening, it is. Reflect on your life. Ask yourself, what got you here? Look beyond the lack that you see. What abundance has happened in your life to get you to this moment? What got you to this point? What has abundance meant for you? Think of the words, the wisdoms that you've clung to, a hug during a tough time, ramen noodles when that was all you can afford. That time you had nothing in the tank, but there was something there that lifted you, your loved one or your spouse or your kids. Maybe you were the abundance for somebody else. Maybe you and your spouse trade off on being abundant for each other. Has it been enough to get you to the next step? Maybe it wasn't the best shoes or the best car. Maybe the meal was Kraft macaroni and cheese. And at times that still is because it tastes good. Maybe it was a gift of food from a friend. Perhaps it was drinking water from a hose. Maybe it was a conversation with a friend that you only met once, or a friend that you've known for a lifetime. Maybe it's a friend that you should see more often. Abundance has always happened in our lives, and for a time, it was enough. Remember when we didn't have AC and it was enough? No smart TV, no MP3, no internet. A tomato sandwich was lunch. Having music on the go meant you had to record something on a cassette. And if someone walked in the room, you had to wait an hour to do it all over again. If you're lucky and it was a holiday weekend and the radio station was playing the 500 best songs, you know you can get a bunch of greatest hits. But you had to sit there and wait. You had to commit to the weekend. Remember, if you wanted to add to your collection, you could send Columbia House a dime, and then they would send you a bunch of records with some sort of commitment that You will buy so many of the next year. Nobody I knew did. Someone must have. They stayed in business doing that for a while, but it wasn't from me or anyone I knew. But my point is abundance has always been us getting what we needed to get to each moment. In the salad days when all is flowing, it's clear to see abundance, and it's wonderful. But abundance is always there carrying us through the tough times. How do I know this? Because we're here. Thank you. I'll step away for the meditation song.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you guys so much. That's a perfect song. So I want to do prayers of the people before the meditation. I've told this story before, but it's quite fitting for Memorial Day. I don't ever want to forget the lives that have gone into allowing us to gather, to do the things that we do in a free country. Many countries I could not speak the way I do because it's just left of center. Every war, people have died, giving the best of themselves to make sure that our rights and freedoms are protected and guaranteed. The Constitution's one thing, but it's a paper without the actions of all those who've defended it. And also help create freedom around the world. I always say that we are the beacon of freedom, and it's because people are willing to give the best of themselves, and many have, and many died. December 6th, 1981, I was in Hawaii, and I decided I was going to go see the Pearl Harbor exhibit because I knew it was closed the next day for a private ceremony. So you go in at the time, and you watch a little movie narrated by Robert Stack. There's no better voice to narrate this movie. And sitting next to me was this elderly gentleman. We walk out, and he's ahead of me. And he sits down on the tram, the boat that brings us out to the memorial. And he tells me that he was on the Arizona, and he wanted to come and have a quiet moment before the celebrations, the 40th anniversary, the next day. And we pull up, and you can see oil still coming up, and I believe it's still coming up now, that was on the ship when it sank. And people throw their wreaths over, but that oil just is a connection to the past. And he stared at that, and for whatever reason, he took a liking to me, and he was talking to me about it, and he held my hand the whole time. And then we walked to the back wall, and it's the names of everyone who had perished on the boat. So he has my hand in one, and with his other hand, he's just touching the names of his friends and tell me something, and he's tearing up, and he went down, and he knew a lot of people. And I've carried that with me as one of the most powerful moments in my life, because that's my link to that. And I'm sure he's long gone. But he's not lost. He's not forgotten, because I can't. So I will tell that story, and hopefully at some point other people will tell that story, my kids and their grandkids. Because these people gave the best of themselves, and they were very human. They were not just names. This man proved that by the way he felt when he touched each name. And every single person who has died in every war, in every battle, has had that human connection that we don't think about. So today's prayer for the people, I just really want you guys to remember those who allowed us to sit here, those who gave all, from every war, as soon as we became a country, to the wars that happen now, to wars that we necessarily did not like, but it didn't matter. They were called to duty, and that was what they did. And some of them came home to rough circumstances, being blamed as if they created the war. Some going through trauma, and our country not living up to honor what they've done or honor their families. So make sure that each Memorial Day you remember someone or something, and just be grateful that we have the ability to be free because of these lives. So I see them, their spirit is whole and glorified. I see them as heroic, and I see them as loved. And I affirm that we will remember and hold them dear to us, not only Memorial Day, but as often as we can. And so it is. Amen. Now I ask you to breathe in. Find your comfortable breathing pattern. And as we do this, you know that there's one power, one presence in the universe and in our lives. God the good and great omnipresence. And knowing that there is one God influencing and guiding our lives, we wrap ourselves in thee. and we get to rest and recharge. We take great pleasure knowing that we can recharge in this moment with each of us. As we take in our breath, we become aware of ourselves. We can feel the gentle beat of our heart. We can feel the love of the world around us. In this moment, we know that we are cared for. We know that within this room, we are safe. Others will offer us a smile when in need. If we choose to eat, we know we can eat. If we seek wisdom, we know wisdom flows to us. We know when others meet us, we have enough abundance to offer ourselves. Again, Holy God, creator of all, source of all, that which has formed us in the image of love and wisdom. We wrap ourselves in the oneness connected to all. Warm, light, and love. We picture light and love not as words, but as an energy, warm, loving, and actionable. Emanating from ourselves, we share this energy to the world. To others, even if they do not know that we do it. Because in this moment, we are grateful, grateful, and grateful. Because we know we get exactly what we need in each moment. As we breathe in, feel abundance. Feel love. And feel light. Know that it has always been there. Always will be. And I invite you back. Kind of roll it out as your eyes open and definitely you'll join me and we'll do the collections and the prayers of tithes and offerings.
I'm happy, healthy, wealthy. wealthy and wise. I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy and wise. A little bird told me life is so sweet. I listened to her song. I know I'm complete. I have all the keys to love, joy, and peace. The power is infinite. Love will increase. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Join me for the prayer of tithes and offerings. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. Now join me for the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed. Thank you guys so much. Join us for the peace song. I'll take it for the note. Okay, you can take it.